So it's really going back to the whole idea of democracy rather than looking up. I remember you gave us, the media loved it, you gave us the tsunami, the Zuma Tsunami. I remember that in 2006, 7. And it was, again, looking towards up, not to the masses, to bring about change. And obviously it didn't happen. So you become, I imagine, totally disillusioned with that, and you realize maybe you should go in the opposite direction, back to democracy. Or did you never give up on democracy?
Well, you talk about the tsunami. I was defining a phenomenon then that this was unstoppable. And people are now saying, hey, your tsunami is biting you and is behind the destruction of the Federation and so forth. I normally say this in response to that. Of course, I must say this, Terry. I feel terribly betrayed that all of the 5 issues that I laid my life on the line for have not seen the light of the day. When I was so excited between 2007 and 2009, it was not based on some personal dislike or personal like of any leader, Thabo Mbeki or Jacob Zuma. It was because the future that we were mobilizing for had promised us the following. It had promised us a future of decent work, of a restructuring of this economy, of industrialization of this economy, of ensuring that workers are liberated from the life of labor brokering and of low pay without benefits. I am extremely disappointed that we have not even moved. Instead, between 2007 and to date, unemployment have deepened. And I know people are going to rush and say, oh, of course, we saw the 2008 world economic crisis. Notwithstanding that, the countries which were the center of that have long moved out of the crisis. We remain in the crisis because we have not done any of the things that the Polokwane conference said we should do. So I was excited because there was a hope that we're going to do that. Secondly, I was excited because there was a commitment to address the structural deficiencies we inherited from apartheid in relation to our education structure. And we're not just talking about the higher matric pass rates, which we should welcome, but we're talking about an education system that was designed to work like a funnel, as we used to say during our COSAS days. A funnel where the millions come into the system and a small drip proceed to go with skills to the firms and to the industries and make a contribution to our economy. We have not changed that funnel structure in our education system because it still sidelines, up to this moment, millions of African and working class children in particular. I'm extremely disappointed that we got preoccupied with the matric results and we didn't address the fact that this education leaks millions before people reach at grade 12. Almost 52% of them are out of the system already, do not arrive at matric or do not proceed to go to universities. And when those arrive at universities, do not go to the other side with better skills. I'm extremely disappointed that we are no longer talking about that. We instead talking about books delayed and all of the disheartening things that have been happening. I'm extremely disappointed that we promise our people that there will be a new health system underpinned by the National Health Insurance, and that the two-tier health system will belong to our past. It's now almost 7 years since we campaigned for that. We have no National Health Insurance on the table, and the two-tier health system continues. Better world standards health for 8% of the population, and terrible healthcare standards for the rest of the population. That's extremely disheartening. I'm extremely disappointed every time I go to the rural areas where I belong, and I see in the former Transkei, everywhere else in the country, how towns, even though they were apartheid towns in the past, but how they've deteriorated and how poverty is written in the face of our people in their millions, where there is simply no rural development strategy in place that is underpinned by agrarian reform and food security, which we promised in the run-up to the 2009 elections. I'm extremely disappointed at the fact that we had said our fifth priority is going to be fighting corruption and crime. But as we speak, corruption is running out of hand, and crime, which is the cousin, brother, and sister of unemployment and poverty, is simply running out of hand, and underpinned by the fact that our judicial system have been pretty useless and unable to respond to the plight of our people. So when you ask me, were you wrong to mobilize workers around those 5 principles, I usually say, no, I don't think that was a wrong cause to do. We were absolutely correct, because those 5 promises, if they were to be delivered, would have made the lives of our people better today. I feel betrayed that some of the people that we trusted will take that vision forward. We're not committed to that, but we're committed to their personal interests.
So now it's a matter of reorganizing the troops, so to speak, and la luta continua.
The struggle continues.
Indeed.
And that's why we're saying, do not mourn, mobilize. Do not moan and say, oh, they betrayed our trust. Mobilize.
The call of the old Wobblies, Joe Hill. Don't mourn, mobilize.
Absolutely.
So Zuma Vavi, I thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, from the man himself. Plenty to think about, plenty to comment on. Let's hear from you. And for this day, it's all from me. Cheers.